Miss Walsh, your friendly saxophone teacher. I'm going to play through page 30, lesson 29, the focus on 16th notes. So let's start with number 1. There's 2 notes on here. The upper notes that are just eighth notes, that's just showing you what the bottom notes are lining up with. So this where the 16th notes are lining up with eighth notes. Kind of helps you organize the 16th notes in your head. So let's play it through. I'm just going to play the A's, okay, the bottom notes. Okay, let's get ready. And don't forget the repeats. Every 2 measures are repeated, okay? 1, 2, ready, play. Let's go to number 2. Do you know what key it's in? We're in the key of E flat, and that has 3 flats. Okay, number 2. Get ready. 1, 2, ready, play. I'm going to scroll down a little so we can see. We're doing number 3. This is in the key of B flat, so we only have 2 flats in here. Okay, get ready. And 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, number 4. Okay. This is in the key of C. No sharps, no flats. There's an accidental to pay attention to. Let's do it. Number 4. Get ready. And 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, last exercise, accompaniment rhythms. This is especially good for baritone sax players, I think. I used to play rhythms like this on baritone sax a lot. We are in the key of F, just 1 flat. Don't forget the repeat. Okay, 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, that is page 30. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about some things that tend to come up with my students. So, one thing I think comes up a lot is at this stage, when you've got these 16th notes, it starts to show whether you're articulating quickly enough. There's sort of a wall. And I believe that wall is when you hit quarter note equals 72 to 80. We were doing it under that. We were not even doing 60. I had it at 58, but I'd like you to try going faster. Once you start doing 16th notes, when the quarter note beat is at like 80, if you're not changing your articulation, you're not going to be able to get faster than that. That's going to be a wall. So I noticed the rhythm will change because of that. So you get, ta, 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 ta 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 ta, like stretching out the 16th notes. But you can't do that. It's ta 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 ta. So I'll do another video on fast articulation. It needs a full video, but that is one thing to pay attention to. So just go to your limit, whatever that wall is for you. Go up to that limit. If that's 72, then fine, go to 72. And if you really can't go faster, then work on that in a more daily practice. Like just working into your warm up scales. Scales are such a great way to work on anything. Do articulated scales and go as fast as you can. And then learn some techniques for articulating faster. Of course, in here, the key signatures are tough. I know they're tough. When you're doing, let's say, number 2, because it happens to be up, probably the first note won't be so much of a challenge. But when people get to A flats, that's when the panic sets in. That's when you aren't hitting the notes from the key signature. I have a few tricks for that. One is you just put big accents on them. Put a big, like an obscene accent. So like when you're before that, let's say you start the measure before, it would be like this. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too loud and surprised anybody, but just a crazy accent on that. You're trying to sort of trick your brain into remembering the measures that have flats or the notes that have flats. So if you hear that and then you play it back again, your brain is like, oh, something's coming up that I've got to pay attention to. It's flats. I got to play A flat there. So big accent. If you have a physical piece of paper that you're reading off of, get a colored pencil or something and maybe underline the note. Don't cover it up so much. You know, band students, when I see music from band, any note that they keep forgetting to play flat or sharp is circled like 1,000 times. You don't even know what the note is anymore. Just subtle, and then when you're practicing, you're going to drill that note. You can also sandwich the notes. So that means you would do maybe, in this case, the measure before, then the tricky note, then the measure after, you know? So just focusing on that. You don't have to do like a whole line or the whole piece. Just go to that section and sandwich it like. And again. In case you didn't know, I'm doing number 2. I'm focusing on measure 4 with the A flats. So you would do that a few times. That's also training your brain to have a pattern that you just worked on, and then when you get there, you're going to just input that pattern that you just drilled a little bit. If you get it wrong again, go back and do it again. Just do it again. You're going to do things a million times anyway, so you might as well do it again. Okay, and it's good for strengthening your muscles. Okay, so we talked a little bit about flats. In exercise number 3, the tricky part here is on the second line, first measure. If you see my cursor, The dot that's there is kind of faded, so that is dotted though. That's a dotted quarter note F. Just wanted to make that clear. So hopefully you're listening to this first before you actually try to play it. But this dotted quarter note. There's a few, ink blotches and stuff on these old books. Okay, I don't think I have anything tricky here. Oh yeah, when you have double letters. So in exercise 3, number 3, or measure 3, you've got double notes, E flat, then E flat, and then it goes down. It descends down. Everybody wants to skip that second E flat. Or in measure 4, they want to skip that second D flat. So I hear like, where they are thinking they're going down, something like that, where it's just a scale going down, but it's E flat, E flat, D, C. And then the rhythm is different on the repeated note. And that's what makes it interesting. Anything that's interesting in music is more complicated. So that's how all composers are writing. They're trying to make things complicated. I think that's usually what I have to say there. And exercise 4, I don't have a lot of comments on this one, but I do want to point out that it modulates. It starts off in the key of C on the second line. As soon as that F sharp is introduced, just for a little while, I would say starting on the second measure. Let's see. As soon as it goes back to F natural, now you're back into the key of C. So it modulates to the key of G. Just wanted you to be aware of that, even these exercises. And number 5, accompaniment rhythms. Whew, it's tricky. I used to play in a ska band. If you know anything about ska, every note you play is on upbeats. So it's like and I played it on baritone sax. Oh my gosh, I was counting so much. So that's what this reminds me of. What I did around this page, I would either sniff like da da da, like da 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 da, or whatever it is. I would sniff to sort of mark that eighth note rest. Sometimes I would make kind of just like a weird sound in my throat, like that, da 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 da, da da. I have one more trick that is really silly, if you can handle silliness. Play a really wrong sounding note in that slot to train yourself to acknowledge the rest. So put something weird there. So we're in the key of F. So what's a note that would sound horrible in the key of F? Usually tritones, where like a B natural or a really low note or something. So now that sounds horrible. That's good. It's important for it to sound horrible, but what you're doing is you're marking that space. You're putting something in that space. So again, you're training your brain to recognize things, recognize patterns or rhythms. You're just doing some little tricks to help you remember, so that you don't go through. I also want to point out in the second ending, the second to the last measure, between that E and the F that's after it, there is no rest. I hear this all the time. I bet you're going to do it. I bet you're going to do this. That's not what's written. Okay. Oh, this hook fell off. So it's like this. So it's up, down, up, down. Okay. Down, up, down. Got it? So don't put that rest in there. I've heard that like hundreds of times now. Okay. Alrighty. I wish you good luck on your 16th note journey. Please keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.